Okay, so here we go. A couple of things to look at here. I'm gonna have to pick the camera up in a little bit, but this thing here, this is the race that needs to come off before I can pull the main shaft, which is right here. This is what the clutch was wobbling on. Usually this race right here walks back towards the transmission, and it's really hard to get the race removal tool on it. I was lucky. It slipped right on there. It's still got, the service manual says there's supposed to be 20 tenths of an inch of space back there. The spacer is about that's here. It's a little bit less than that, but it fits in there pretty loosely, so the race hasn't walked, which is shocking. And it's about, I don't know how much from the key. We've lubed up everything here with, I could have used sort of an oil, but I put Never Seas on it, and I put Never Seas in here too. So this is the moment of truth. This is the starter shaft, and it kind of came off. Maybe I should have removed it, but it came off anyway, and so I just shoved it back in there, just to keep my bearings, if you will. Now we'll see what happens. This is a moment of truth here. So if you're nervous, well, you should be. Lord knows I am. Something's not working. I might have to get longer bolts, to be honest. I'm going to make sure this is as even as possible here. You have to take this kind of slow, if you will. And here we go. There we go. Well, this is coming off way easier than I thought it would. Holy smokes. And it's not even really all that crooked, which is even a holy smokier. Unbelievable. It came off so easy. Unbelievable. So there's the race. And it's got to go on a certain way. There's lettering here. It goes on like that, with the lettering facing out. And that's that. So now this race, or this shaft here, is ready to pull out, which I will probably do tomorrow. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. I don't know if I'm going to disconnect it. Some things to note here, though. And that is the this is the stator. Actually, it looks like it's in pretty good shape. I mean, it looks like it's trying to. I didn't see any Harley Davidson I'll have to let you know in the video production, but it doesn't look like there's any Harley Davidson on this, so that sucker's been changed before at some point. This is the inner primary, which came out. It sits like this, and this is the solenoid that sits on that starter shaft right there. This seal's got to be replaced. I'm going to take this bearing out and replace the seal there too. One thing that's interesting about this is that I'm going to do something different, but there's an O-ring here that sits around that stator right there, so you don't leak any primary fluid out. And it looks like to me that is RTV, which is usually a fucking no-no. I'm gonna probably put a they've made a new gasket for this, that instead of just this little O-ring sitting inside this little notch here, there's one that goes inside the notch but covers all this stuff up, which I'll probably move to. It's a little more expensive. Here's the seal, which, to be honest with you, is in pretty damn good shape, because when I didn't do it, I had it done. I was leaking here a long time ago, about a year ago. You might have seen one of those videos. However, when they put on the clutch, it looks like they screwed that up. And then here's the seal right here for the starter jack. So that's it so far. Oh, one other thing. I sure am glad I took this off, because look at my shifter. It's barely sitting on this doggone thing. So that's gonna have to be fixed. I'm gonna clean all this up and get it done, and then begins the slow ride to get this thing repaired. All right, that's it for now. Oh, by the way, it's a download 15 in the background, so Josiah's playing the latest and greatest. So, for anybody who cares. Peace. Ciao. Slancha. I just thought I'd add one more thing here. This stator here is surrounded by magnets. This thing is one big magnet, and when this circles around all that, then what happens is there's little wires here that come out here, and those go to this right here. So this is your voltage regulator, so whatever comes out of here is AC, and it has to be converted to DC, and this regulates the volts that go to the battery, around 13.3 volts. These fins on here are for any excess voltage that comes from this stator has to be shed off as heat. And so that's what the fins are for. So the excess voltage that is shed off here is shed off as heat, and it cools here. And the reason for that is because if it didn't, you know, you'd have a battery fire. So anyway, everything on this end though looks good. Okay, so I got the clutch hub bearing out. That's what this baby is right here. I had to press it out. Clutch hub bearing goes in there, right inside here, and this right here, this is the hub that as you can see got ripped on the main shaft. The bearing is pressed onto that, so I had to press that out on my little press right here, and I did it, and it sounded a little odd when I took it off. So just a little bit of listen to this. I don't know if you can hear that, but there's bearings in there floating around. You can just barely hear them. That's a no-no. So anyway, continuing on.